Let me tell you something that nobody will say to your face. Not your favorite coach. Not that Instagram guru with the rented Lambo in the photo. Not the speaker who charges $3,000 per ticket to teach you the abundance mindset. Nobody. Because the truth I'm about to tell you is too inconvenient for those who profit from your illusion. And in the United States, well-packaged illusion is one of the best-selling products. It always has been, ever since someone invented the EVE, the American Dream, and forgot to mention that it was built on top of an infrastructure of privilege so dense and so invisible that most people go their whole lives without seeing it. But you're here, and that already says something about you. So I'm going to treat you with the respect you deserve and tell you the truth. Do you believe that the millionaires who appear on magazine covers, in inspirational podcasts, and in YouTube videos did it all by themselves? That they woke up at 4 in the morning, took a cold shower, ate unsalted oatmeal, suffered in silence, and one day, poof, became rich? Because if you believe that, my friend, you've been deceived in such an elegant way that you didn't even realize it. And the worst part? You're probably still grateful for the privilege of having been fooled. That's how everyone tells the story, right? Effort, discipline, focus, grinding. That awful word that's become synonymous with moral virtue in the United States. Grinding. As if working. Until you collapse were a sign of noble character, and not a sign that the system convinced you that you're a cog in the machine and not the owner. Everyone knows someone who started from scratch, lived in their car for 6 months, ate ramen every day, and now has a mansion in Scottsdale with an infinity pool and a dog that costs more than their rent. And the narrative is always the same. I had nothing, I just worked hard. Beautiful, exciting, and conveniently incomplete. Because that's not the whole story. Not even close. What you're hearing is the trailer. Those 2 edited minutes with dramatic music, slow motion on the protagonist's determined face, and zero context about everything that happened before, during, and after the scenes you didn't see. You watch the trailer and think you know the movie, but the movie has 2.5 hours of content that was cut before it reached. The inconvenient truth, and I know you don't want to hear this, is that there is no such thing as self-made. This expression is one of the greatest fictions that American culture has invented, and it has been constructed with so much care, so much marketing, and so much repetition that it has become fact. But it's a story, a very well-told story, with a charismatic protagonist, a perfect arc of overcoming adversity, and a happy ending that sells courses, books, lectures, and anything else with that person's face on the cover. What you're seeing isn't reality. It's the version of reality they've chosen to show you. It looks like independence. It looks like one person, alone, with willpower, and 2 bright brain cells, built an empire from nothing. But behind every self-made millionaire, there's a list that never appears in the interview. Connections that opened doors that have been locked for you for years. Opportunities that arrived at the right time because someone made a call. Perfect timing that wasn't planned, but was presented as strategic vision. Support from family, investors, mentors, government programs, inheritances that weren't necessarily money, but were about access, network, trust. Things that most people will never have. Things that never appear in stage speeches. You only hear about the effort, the sleepless nights, the "I started from scratch, with nothing in my hands and everything in my dream." That phrase that gives you goosebumps, and that everyone applauds because it's beautiful, and because we want to believe that's how the world works. That merit is everything, and that if you try hard enough, the universe will cooperate. But you never hear about the help that came at the right time. About the shortcut that was possible because someone made an exception, about the structural advantage of being born in a neighborhood, in a family, in a race, in a gender that simply makes certain things easier, even before you make any effort. Think about that for a second. Really, think about it. It's like watching the final scene of a new action movie. The hero is standing, dust swirling around him, everything destroyed, and he rose with sheer determination. incredible, inspiring. But you didn't see the 57 takes that were needed. You didn't see the director, the screenwriter, the producer, the makeup artist, the special effects team, the health insurance, the $1 million contract, and the imported coffee he drank between takes. You saw the final product and thought you knew how it was made. You don't. You saw what they wanted to show you. And then comes the cruelest part of this whole illusion. You start to blame yourself. You look at this man or woman on the screen, listening to how they climbed out of the abyss, and your mind, which has been trained for years to process this kind of information in a specific way, asks the most devastating question possible. If they could do it, why can't I? And this question seems harmless. It even seems motivational, but it's loaded with a false premise that will slowly destroy you, because it assumes that the conditions were the same, that the playing field is level, that the only variable between their success and your failure is you. It's your discipline, it's your effort, it's your weakness. And this belief, it eats you up inside, silently, without making a sound. Because no matter how hard you work, how early you wake up, how much you sacrifice, you're chasing something that was never real in the way they presented it to you. You're trying to replicate a result without having access to the same variables that produced that result. It's like trying to bake a cake following half the recipe and wondering why it doesn't rise in the oven. The recipe they gave you was incomplete from the start. Let that sink in. Serious. Stop for a second and really let that sink in. Look, effort matters. I'm not here to tell you that you can lie on the couch and wait for the universe to deposit money into your account. Discipline has value. Work has value. Persistence has value. But effort isn't the whole game. It never has been. Effort is a necessary piece on a much larger, much more complex, and much less fair chessboard than successful podcasts insist on admitting. And when you believe that effort is everything, you become blind to the other pieces. You stop asking the right question. You stop questioning the system and start questioning yourself. And that's exactly what the system prefers. And you know what's most ironic about this whole story? The guy who sells you the Millionaire Mindset course for $999, payable in 12 installments on your credit card, of course, that guy got rich selling the illusion that you can get rich. His product is your hope, your insecurity, your desire to believe that there's a secret formula known only to the chosen few, and that he, out of infinite kindness and entrepreneurial spirit, decided to share it with you at an affordable price. It's not knowledge he's selling. It's the feeling that you're doing something. And while you're in Module 7 of his course, he's on his private plane going to record the next student testimonial that will become an advertisement to convince more people like you. If you truly want to understand how success works, not the edited version, not the inspirational trailer, not the stage speech rehearsed by a PR person, stay here, because what's coming in the next videos will change the way you see money, merit, effort, and opportunity in a way that no motivational speech will dare to do. I'm not here to sell you hope wrapped in pretty paper. I'm here to show you the whole movie. The problem isn't that you're failing. The problem is that from the beginning, they sold you the wrong story. And as long as you keep believing that story, you'll keep running on a treadmill that someone smarter than you deliberately put there, at a speed that suits them, towards a destination you were never meant to reach. The illusion of self-made doesn't exist to inspire you. It exists to keep you too busy to notice what's really happening.